Inkie peeps, it's Adele from Inkie Quill, and today I have an album flip. So this is album number 2, and thank you again for picking up my mistake in labelling all of my 2018 albums accidentally as 2019, so I've still got to fix that. This is the second album, and I actually took 1.5 albums that I already had and put them together, and I'll show you the little hiccup that I had halfway through. But this is, as always, a 9x12 album from Studio Calico, and most of the layouts are 9x12. There's some 8.5x11s and possibly a couple of 6x12s in here as well. Some of these are process videos, some of them aren't. I think some of them were done with my couch scrapping as well. So I will jump on in, and I'm going to try and avoid the glare. It's just the best I can do. I'm sorry about that. So this one, I think I did this on a live stream. I think this was a live stream in June that I did this one on, and it was a bit tricky because I had 2 different sized photos, but I used up some of those little marbled DIY embellishments that I made on YouTube a little while ago, and I like the way that this photo Archie's kind of looking in and down onto the layout. So whenever I put my photos on my layout, I always see if they're looking a particular way as to where my photo could go. And then this one was a process video, and I don't know if I ever uploaded it. I think I did. I'm pretty sure it was a Patreon video, and we made these little hearts with the marbled paper and then embossed around the outside. They were really, really fun to make, and so I want to make some more of those again because they were really quick and easy. They were a little bit tricky. Hearts are a tricky shape. I might try circles for the next time. But the start of this album is documenting Archie's first birthday party. So there's quite about a third of this album is just from his birthday party. We've decided with the kids that the first birthday is a big hurrah, and it's a bit tricky because we have 4 sets of parents. So if we get everyone together with lots of friends and kind of space out the people a little bit, and then every birthday from then on is just a smaller occasion, just like a dinner or picnic in the park, something tiny. So that's the reason why his birthday was quite a big shebang. But we did, I'm pretty sure there's a vlog on Mr. and Mrs Rad of his first birthday as well, if you wanted to see more. Some of my girlfriends over. I used up lots of letter stickers, which was really good, and Project Life was really handy for this because there were a lot of photos that were cute but not big enough to scrapbook by themselves, and also I couldn't have made all of these into layouts. It just would have been way too many photos. So I like this one because these are Aaron's brothers from 2 different sides of his family. So they're his brothers on his mum's side, and that's his brother on his dad's side. So it was nice that they all got a picture together. They all get along fine. I think they've only met each other at the wedding, possibly. I think, yeah, I don't think they've really, oh, and the baptism, but that was after this. And there's Ben. Our friend had a little baby, so it was the first time that we met her, which was really nice. And my bestie came down from Queensland, from another state. There's Archie with his nonny. I used up these little embellishments I made as well. I think that was in a Patreon video. I got strips of paper and layered them and made them into like my own background paper. This one, I'm positive this was a Patreon video, and I had a few left over, so it was nice to be able to carry them across. I love these hearts. Definitely want to make some more of these again, and that's the good thing about looking through albums. It kind of inspires you to maybe scrap lift a layout that you liked, or a type of technique or embellishment that you like that you've forgotten about. This is a very chunky one. These frames I wasn't a huge fan of them just because they were so thick. I'm not sure if that was a video or not, but just one of the only smiling photos that we got of Arch by himself on his birthday. And then just some more PL about the here and now and what we did and who we were, who was here. I did the guest list as well because I thought in years to come that would be good to look back on and see who was there to celebrate with us. And then first time trying cake, and he wolfed it down and has since become a bit of a cake fiend. So I often make like healthy muffins and just call them cake, and he doesn't know the difference, which is very very handy. Nothing like a little bit of healthy trickery to get your kids to eat something good. This was a Patreon video, I'm pretty sure, and this is my nan and Aaron's nan, and they met for the first time at the wedding because Aaron's nan lives about 4 or 5 hours away, and so they met at the wedding for the first time, and then this was the second time that they'd met, and they just had a hoot, just chatting together and bonding over great grandmothery experiences. I think that, yeah, so Archie is Aaron's nan's first great-grandchild, is that right? Yes. And Archie's my grandma's 7th great-grandchild. So they were bonding over, talking about their grandkids and having a ball. This one I think is also a video. It's just a really simple one to put together, but I really like the look of the white pen on the black paint with this font of thicker. So they're 8.5 by 11 ones. And then of course more Project Life. So we've got Aaron's stepmom and my mum and his aunt on his stepdad's side. So it was great to get all the different sides of family to mingle together. It's always a bit nerve-wracking when you have split families, but everyone seemed to get along well. Is Pappy, so my dad is Poppy and Aaron's dad is Pappy. Archie has a lot of grandparents. So he's got Pappy, Poppy, Nana, Nana, Nonny and Nanny. He's got a lot of names, but he knows who's who, and he always calls them the correct way. But it's going to be fun on his first year of school if they ever do a family tree. That might be a bit tricky. So this is our group of friends, and then afterwards we had some friends kind of stay a little bit, and the next day was Easter. So this was Archie's second Easter because he was born just before the year before, and we didn't see any family for Easter this year because we saw everyone the day before at his party. I got this from Aaron's cousin's Facebook page because it was Aaron's pop's birthday on Easter Sunday, and he was no longer with us, so I wanted to capture these photos in my album. Stay in there. And then I continue on with just an everyday week of shower faces, baby yoga, bit of journaling, just the little moments, searching for a standing desk, and of course had to include the buns. I think I need to redo my stash of tiny alphas because I am looking back at this. I use them a lot back here, but I'm not using them as much now because I don't have them. So that's something that I might have to invest in. This is one of my favorite spreads. Let me see if I can hold it so that the glare's not there. There we go. So this is one of my favorite spreads. It's kind of like a double page layout. We went to a local lagoon one afternoon. It was nice and warm, and I used the same colours across the 2 pages, and I think because all of the photos were taken at the same time, they all have a similar colour scheme to them. But I really love the way this looks. So you'll notice in my, if you watched my retreat recap where I did the album flip of my 2019 album so far, there's a couple of pages, beachy pages like this, and they remind me that this is the vibe that I was going for when I made those new pages. I also want to try and do a few more like just journaling cards as well. This is just adding tiny little stickers here and there. Project life doesn't always have to be busy and chaotic. I know I quite like it busy and chaotic, but sometimes I also like it quite plain. This was a YouTube video for Flutterby Designs, and it was the first time I'd tried something like this, like cutting the strips of different pattern paper and kind of making a faux cut file vibe, but something I'd like to scrap lift again. Oh, I love this layout. So this layout I made while I was away at a Scrappy Girls weekend, and it was the inspiration for a recent YouTube video that I did. I kind of took the same idea and turned it into a video where I just layered a whole heap of thickers in the background, and then I just thought it was appropriate to put the title as Go Go Go. This is definitely one of my favourite layouts in this entire album. A little bit more project life. Archie's first thunderstorm. We had these decorations up for a really long time on our wall from his party, just because they were cute and we didn't want to get rid of them. Aaron's little sister shaved her head for cancer research. It's called the World's Greatest Shave. I think it's an Aussie initiative. And so Aaron's sister just wrote a little bit on Facebook, so I just printed it. And I know it's sideways, but it kind of works because my wood veneer is sideways. So I wanted to include that as well, because what she wrote was just beautiful. And then another page, trying to use up some older journaling cards that I've had just sitting around in my stash for quite a long time. He looks so tiny here. Archie was teething at this point, which is always fun. Oh, this is when I started the 100-day project. Aww. And then you can see that my favourite page protector was this one that had the 2 4x6s and then the rest 3x4s, and they are so hard to get your hands on. They seem to be sold out all of the time, and so that was one of the reasons why I went to 12x12, just because it's so hard to get this 9x12 size in Australia, and it costs an absolute fortune. I know there are some Aussie retailers who sell them as well. I just prefer to get it from Studio Calico and buy a ton of them. When I did buy them, I'd buy like 12 or so albums. And yeah, it was tricky. This was just another random afternoon. Took lots of photos. And then I really like this filler card. It reminds me of my first PL album. I don't know if it's this minty colour. I did a lot of that colour in that album. And then I realised that I had forgotten to scrap a couple of photos, and I didn't have enough for a whole spread, so I just grabbed one of these 6x8. It's called Design 4, and scrapbooked a friend's 30th on this side, and then just some other random pics. Archie was at his nanny's house for his first sleepover while we went to Sydney. This one I did while I was away as well, so there's no video for this one, but I love the way it looks. I just wrote on top of the photo with a paint pen and just used some white cardstock and texture paste in. I made an aqua texture paste and then used a shiny gold one, and then did my journaling around the outside. And I think this is also one of my faves from this album. Definitely one to scrap lift again. This has a process video on YouTube, I think, and this is a pic of my mum and Nan. And I just wanted to do a really softish floral in the background, just kind of have a bit of a girly vibe for this one. On to some more PL. Just getting through the weeks. It was my mum's birthday, so we went out for lunch. And then, do I have something? Oh no. I thought I might have had something hiding behind there, but I don't. Facebook memory. My bestie and I used to always wear accidentally coordinating outfits, and one day we met up and we were wearing the exact same blue jumpsuit, exact same, from two different stores, but they were identical. So we definitely were in that stage then of our late teens where we do giant photo shoots and take about 150 photos in the space of about 20 minutes, as teenage girls like to do. I want to go back and scrapbook a lot of those photos from, I'd say, 2005, 6, 7. I have a lot of photos from then, but not a lot of variety. So because I didn't have, that was before iPhones, or before I had an iPhone, so I only took photos on my camera, and I didn't take them of the everyday stuff like my paints or things like that. So there's a lot of event based scrapping from those years, and so I would like to go back, and let me know if you'd be interested in like a series of going back and scrapping older photos maybe for a teenage album. This one, I have a feeling that doesn't have a process video. I think I did this one while I was away as well. I just cut up a whole heap of stars. It was fiddly to cut out, but it was an easy one to put together. And then this layout I did at a retreat. No, I didn't. Did I? I have a feeling it was a class or something. I can't quite remember. Can't quite remember if there's a process video for this one. There might be, but I don't think there is. But I did my paint pen and glossy accent on my title, which I really like. We're about halfway through, still persevering. This was another week where there was just a lot of random little moments. Some friends had a baby, so I put in their little baby announcement picture, doing shopping, making printables, lunch dates outside. And then this is where this album finished, because I must have still had a heap of layouts still to create in here, and so I wasn't sure how thick it was going to get. So I started the next album, and then I had a bit of space. So my next album started with a layout, which meant that I couldn't put it in this page protector, obviously. So I just grabbed a pattern piece of paper, cut it up, and then just put like a filler card in the center, and you know, it does its job. It's not breathtaking or a fancy piece of memory keeping, but it does the job. This one, I'm pretty sure, has a process video on Patreon, and I used a waxed crayon resist. I love this one as well. I love the colors of it. I also love how randomly dark the photos are. The lighting was just going directly onto us, and I really like the look of that. This one definitely has a process video on YouTube. I just did a lot of white journaling. Used up this giant chipboard title that I'd had stashed away for a while and had been avoiding using. A little bit more PL. Just trying to do more handwriting in my albums. Cookies and cups of tea in Bath. I think I was sick around this time, and so that was the perfect way to recover. It's nice to look back at past albums at the start of a new year, because you can see what elements you really like about your albums. So straight away I can see I love tiny alphas, I love handwriting, and I love adding like little stars and hearts and little bits and pieces, as well as Facebook posts and Instagram posts and things from my friends and family's social media. I love to include that as well. This one definitely has a process video. This layout was a little different than my usual because it was quite a neutral color scheme when you think about how I usually make my layouts, and so it took me a little while to get into, but I love the way it looks, and this center design is just so easy to put together with a whole lot of chunky big embellishments. So this is a fun one to scrap lift. This one I don't think has a process video. I think this one I did while I was away, and I was inspired by my beautiful friend Lauren Hender. She had done a layout while we were away together that was similar to this, with all of the bits of floraliness coming out from behind, and so I scrap lifted her. She has a YouTube channel if you'd like to see more of her videos. And then over here, this was one of my favorite PL pages, and I did make a process video for this. I think it was a citrus twist process video, and I don't know if it was a combo of all the different fonts, but like the cursive with this alpha and then the stamp and then this. I don't know what it was about this PL page, but it really made me happy. I might have to look at it a bit more to figure out exactly what it is, but I don't know, maybe it's that there's so many cards on this page, because when you think about it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 journaling cards, and usually I don't have 7 journaling cards on a page, but I really enjoyed it. I'm just going to pause this so that it doesn't cut me off. I never trust my camera after it gets past about 20 minutes. Sometimes it turns itself off, and I have in the past lost entire process videos because I've missed most of the action and the camera has deleted the footage, which is always fun. But we're just continuing on using up little labels and hearts, of course. Some photos with Poppy. This one has a process video. Was this my hand? Yes, I think this was the first Challenge Yourself video, or the second Challenge Yourself video over here on Patreon, where I hand stitched some little embellishments. I really like the way this one turned out. I'm not going to start hand stitching everything, but it is a really nice look. I've just got to develop some patience. And then this one was a Patreon printables process video. I used some of the bits and pieces that I had for that month. It would have been one of the earlier months from this year. A closer look. Playing with those alcohol inks for that printable in the background. Then we continue on to some more PL. This would have been a double page with process video with this one, because these are some more printables. This little Batman outfit. We bought Ben a Spider-Man dressing gown because he found one for Archie that was too big and really wanted to get it for him. So I went online and found an adult-sized one for him, which was cute. And this was also the first time that Archie walked and took 10 steps. Like he'd been taking a couple of steps here and there, but not a significant amount of steps in one go. Some more little bits and pieces, a flashback to 1 year ago with my bunny bodyguards, and a label stuck to my page. If you ever have a slow week, you can always do some flashbacks. Archie's still obsessed with sitting in boxes. Do they ever grow out of that? And then I went on a scrapbook retreat for Cocoa Vanilla, and so I just put my little name taggy thing in there. I used these square page protectors, which I really try to avoid, but I had a lot of photos that I wanted to just print at a 2x3 size, and so what I did is I got one large piece of paper. This watermelon paper just worked with the pink and green tropical colours of the theme of the party, theme of the retreat, sorry, not party. And so I just printed the watermelon paper and then stuck the 2x3 photos just here, there and everywhere. Lauren won. I donated an Inkie Quill prize pack with some of the things from my store on my website, like a tote bag and a pencil case and a journal. And my friend Lauren won it, which was just hilarious because of all people to win it. So that was funny. She was really excited. She jumped up and squealed when her name got called out for that. There was a dress up night, and so I went dressed as a mermaid. Just got some pictures of all of my friends dressed up. And then while I was at the retreat, Aaron was staying with his family in Port Macquarie, and then after the retreat I stayed for one extra night to see them, which was really lovely. Almost at the end, getting there slowly. So then just 5 things to remember. I really liked the colour of this journaling card with the cover of my traveller's notebook. Oh, this is baby Monica, who's Archie's little bestie, and we were getting ready to go to our Tasmania trip very soon with these guys, and so we were texting each other pictures of, it was going to be very cold down there, so we were texting each other pictures of the bubs in their beanies. And then another week, I'd been hoarding onto this little Frida looking chipboard sticker for quite a while, so it was good to use that. Grabbing friends' Snapchats, and then, oh, I love this, one of my inklets has a chicken called Inkie Quill, and I just had to include that in my week because I just thought it was hilarious. It's so cute. Then a couple of a layout for Mother's Day, and so I just did a collage of all of the mums and grandmas and great-grandmas in our lives. I just did a layout all together. I think this has a process video. I'm pretty sure it's a Flutterby Designs one on YouTube. And then this one, I think, not sure if this one has a process video, but I just used chipboard thickers in a big heart in the background and then painted over the top of them because there's a picture of Archie and Aaron reading, and so I always try to include letters. If I need a way to use up some thickers, I always try to find a photo of them reading together because words are made of letters. And so it all goes together. And then the final page, I did a little screenshot of Prince Harry getting married, my friend's chicken, this little bendy man, and then some Facebook posts of Aaron's sister. This must have been a quiet week because I've got 1, 2, 3 posts from other people, the bunnies, the sky, and only a couple of Archie ones, so it mustn't have been a too busy week. And then usually the weekends are a little bit busier. I usually do my, well, I always do my project life from Monday to Sunday. That's just how I think, because I was a teacher, I see the week in Monday to Sunday, and then we start a new week on Monday. But a lot of people start their project life on a Sunday or their week on a Sunday. So it's really just whatever works for you. So that's that epicness of that album. I hope this half-hour video has given you some ideas. You got to see some layouts that you may not have seen before because they didn't have process videos, and it's just kind of giving you some inspiration to look back on your past albums and really see what it is about them that you love, that you gravitate towards? Are there certain colours that you always use? Are there certain things that you avoid, like stitching, but you like the look of and maybe want to invest a bit more time practicing that skill or experimenting with it a little bit? Are there colour schemes that you usually don't go for that you might have tried and loved and then forgotten that you loved, like that? And just have a look at the old memories and see how much life has changed as well. It's amazing how quickly kids grow up, or how just your daily routine from years past can change so very much. At this point, I don't think Aaron was working from home either, so our daily routine was very, very different than what it is now, and Archie wasn't at daycare. So this is when I was working from home with a baby, which is always fun. Said with immense sarcasm. Right there. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you've had a chance to get crafty this week. If you have, let me know what you did. Let me know what crafty thing you've done, even if it's just scrolling through Pinterest and pinning some things you liked, or you might have treated yourself to a new glue stick at the shops. Anything crafty that you've been enjoying, a video that you've watched and just liked recently, anything, let me know what you've been up to, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye!